Annabelle Creation is the prequel to 2014's Annabelle, which was a prequel to 2013's The Conjuring. So this is a prequel of a prequel. A prequel. And it's about these group of Christian orphan girls who are taken in by this older couple in this house in the middle of nowhere to live. And there's something mysterious about the old life of this older couple. And after this main girl, Janice, who has polio, discovers some interesting things happening in this room that she is told not to go into, she goes into it at night and she encounters Annabelle, which is the mysterious doll we have all grown to fear. And of course, there are creepy things about to happen, there are jump scares, there are possessions, and there are all things that we have seen before. And if this sounds like something that you have heard a million times before in horror movies, it is because yes, that is true. The setup to this movie is extremely generic. A new group of people move into an old mysterious house, there are some bump in the night things, there are loud noises, there are some jump scares, and one person believes that something creepy has happened but no one really listens to them, and then eventually that person becomes closer with this demonic presence, and then shit just hits the fan. And while Annabelle Creation could have easily fallen into the generic haunted house story, it doesn't because of its unique directing from David F. Sandberg. Sandberg previously directed Lights Out, which I thought had a great direction and a nice twist to the horror film, even though I thought its script was pretty bad. He does the same thing here. Sandberg has a specific look for horror, and there are specific scenes in this movie that have great imagery that are really creepy, and they could creep out people that won't really be creeped out by horror movies in general. And so he plays with a lot of twists and cliches that many horror movies have. While there are some jump scares that you're going to expect, there are other moments and scenes where you think it's going to be a jump scare in one way, and then it turns into another way. And I really like that. He had a surprise element to this film. But as I said, the script isn't as strong as the visionary direction. Earlier I said that this movie's setup is pretty generic. Yeah, it is. You have seen this before. And also, with a lot of horror movies, you have dumb characters. Does this movie have dumb characters? Most of them are dumb characters. The main girl, Janice, she is told not to go into this room, and she says, okay, I'm not gonna go into it. But then she hears something at night in this room, and for her first night, she doesn't know anything creepy is in that room. So of course she goes into it, okay. But then she discovers something creepy, like something unnatural, so she leaves the room. And then the next day, she goes back into that room after she hears something. I know none of these people have seen a horror movie. This is probably one of the first possessions in this universe, but you should just know, don't go back into the creepy room that one, you were told not to go into, and two, you've seen something creepy in that room, why would you go back? And of course the adult nun in this movie, even though she is told by these two girls, there's something creepy in the house, she's like, don't worry about it. Someone dies in the house, she's like, okay, you should go to bed. The only smart character in this movie is played by Lulu Wilson, who did a phenomenal job in Ouija Origin of Evil. There's a well scene closer to the end of this movie with Lulu and the nun character, and the nun doesn't believe about the doll. And then when this nun sees a creepy thing about the doll, she's like, wait! What about that? And Lulu's character's like, who cares? Let's run. That's what I would do in this situation. And in the movie, you have a bunch of girls in the movie. You have Janice, the girl with polio, her best friend played by Lulu Wilson. And then you have some other girls. I think there are 4 more. You have 2 older mean girls, and then you honestly have 2 girls. They did nothing. They honestly did nothing in the movie. I don't even know their names. I don't even think they had a specific scene that was just them. So while all of the characters may not be perfect, the character of Lulu Wilson I thought was very realistic, despite some other characters not being very smart. But the bond between Janice and Lulu Wilson's character I thought added some more depth to this film, which I wasn't really expecting. And this movie does take place in the Conjuring universe, which could have been very negative for the film. They could have had too much setup for other spin-offs and other characters like they do in some other films. But in the previous films, it never really seemed as forced, and in this film, it doesn't really seem that forced either. There's one scene that has a lot of character development for the nun character. And if you've never seen any of the other Conjuring movies, you're just thinking, oh, I know more about this character's past. But if you pay really close attention, you could see it's a certain connection to a character which has been brought up in previous Conjuring films. And while a lot of the scenes in the movie are creepy and some of them may be even scary, some of them, really when you think about it, get kind of confusing. While a lot of these scenes are pretty effective in creeping the audiences out, there's one scene where 2 girls are under a bedsheet and they are trying to summon this demon, and they start hearing the demon and they see the shadow of the demon beyond the bedsheet. This is an extremely creepy scene and I liked it. But when you really think about it, it doesn't really make sense in the film because you're thinking this demon, one, doesn't look like the demon that we do see later on in the movie. So what is it? Is it trying to create another spin-off movie, or is it just trying to create something that doesn't really make sense in the long run of this movie? And even though it is a very effective scene, I would have appreciated it more if we got a callback to this scene later on in the future of the movie. And even after these girls experience something creepy, one of them is like, oh, some something creepy happened. The other one's like, don't worry, we were just making that up. And then both of them forget like it ever happened. It felt really off. And there's even another scene closer to the end of the movie with a scarecrow. Again, this is an extremely effective scene with great direction from Sandberg. And when you really think about the scene, it doesn't really make sense. This demon is terrorizing these girls. But why is he terrorizing these girls? They're not trying to stop the demon's plan with this girl Janice. They're literally trying to run away. Why is this demon taking up his time to play with these girls? It doesn't really make any sense. And if this is the demon, then who is controlling Annabelle and who's controlling Janice? Is there more than one demon? On the surface, this is a very creepy and scary film. When you're really trying to deconstruct this movie, some scenes, while effective, don't really make that much sense. But I really did think this film was very clever in the way it ended, how it connected itself back into the Conjuring universe with some previous films that we've seen. Annabelle Creation does have a lot of creepy scenes. It does have some good acting, especially from Lulu Wilson, while some of the characters' decisions may not be the best and some creepy scenes don't really have a great place in the film. Annabelle Creation is still extremely well made, especially from its direction of David F. Sandberg, and I can say that Annabelle Creation is a good movie. So that's Annabelle Creation. Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? Whatever you think, you can put in the comments below and maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't, you can click my last video right over here, and you can click my upcoming video right over here. Thank you as always for watching. Hope to see you next time.